Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn. You've popped out to Los Angeles for good reason. You've got the golden goose now. It's been since Mikey left Top Rank that everybody's been trying to lay hands on this guy, make deals, be the promoter for Mikey Garcia. How did Matchroom manage to do that for this fight?
Well, it's been a long time coming, Rahim. It's kind of like as a young man or as a young lady, you meet someone and you go and you meet them for the first time, you want to impress them, you want to have a relationship with them. And that's what we wanted when we first went to meet Mikey Garcia. I think when he sat down with me at the Sheraton at LAX airport a year and a half ago, he probably thought, who are you and who are DAZN? I went to him with a dream and, of this new platform that was launching, this streaming service. And he was like going, okay. And we basically agreed, I just said to him, look, just watch. And at the time, Jesse Vargas was my first real signing from the PBC. And I felt that Vargas against Garcia was like the perfect fight to make. Mikey chose to stay with the PBC. We kept in touch constantly. And every little time we made a major signing, we just chipped away a little bit at Mikey Garcia. So obviously Anthony Joshua joined the platform. Canelo Alvarez was mega, because people like Mikey Garcia looked at the biggest star in the sport signing with DAZN, thinking. And then Triple G followed, and then he saw Jacobs and Andrade and Farmer and Hooker and Usyk and Rungvisai and, Strada and all these other people joining the platform. And I think it was just a matter of time with the timing where, we saw him fight Errol Spence. After that, I really wanted to get him on the platform. We know that he's consistently, since he's been with the PBC, done a fight-by-fight deal with them. I was happy to do the same as long as we had the option to keep him, which we have moving forward. And then, of course, with Jesse Vargas, who is a 2-division world champion. Mikey's a 4-division world champion. You've got the Mexican battle, almost like a Barrera Morales style fight. Jerry Jones came out and really got behind this idea and wanted to stage this fight. We did a deal with him for the venue, and we're here. We're great. It's really given us a great shot in the arm. And I can't tell you about the momentum that DAZN have had in the last few months. Going from Canelo Kovalev to KSI Logan Paul to Joshua Ruiz. Like that band of probably 6 weeks, it's probably seen them, around close to 7 figures of subscribers coming in. Now the plan is to keep them, to put a schedule together in 2020 that makes people say, and I'm almost tired of kind of saying to fight fans, look, you're paying $80 for one night, right? And I don't like saying it too much because I don't like to be seen to be like slagging off other platforms, but when you just break it down in layman's terms, you're spending $80 on Wilder against Ortiz, right? For $99, you're getting DAZN for 12 months. It's not just all the fighters I've just mentioned. It's our UK shows, our Italian shows. It's Bellator, it's Golden Boys shows. It's like the value's insurmountable. So I really feel like now, with the subscriber base that we have, the fighters that we have and the potential we have to put an unrivaled schedule together for 2020, we're in great shape. We've still got to do it. Just because you've got a load of talent doesn't mean that you're going to put the best fights together. But I feel like we've done that in the back half of the year. And I think moving forward, we're in a great spot.
Well, moving forward with Mikey Garcia, at 47, this will be his second test. Yeah. He wasn't successful in his first. So it'll be a good test to see how he can carry that weight. And obviously Vargas is a live opponent, possible guy who could win this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
But moving forward, this is not a super fight. Like a huge fight at 47 will require you working with the PBC again.
Not necessarily. I mean, you've got guys like Manny Pacquiao whose contracts are coming up in due course. You've got other guys that don't have a long-term contract or a promotional contract with the PBC. One of the reasons for bringing Mikey to DAZN was to have that pawn in the game where you can speak to other guys in the division. One of the reasons we could never go out and sign perhaps a Terence Crawford or an Errol Spence is the obvious question is, who will I fight? Now you can go to those guys and say Mikey Garcia or Jesse Vargas if he wins this fight. It makes a big difference. And for us, whilst it's important to build a stable that's unrivaled, it's equally as important to build a schedule that's unrivaled. So going to guys and, we've just been to Jamal Charlo, made him a huge offer to fight Demetrius Andrade, 1-fight deal. We just went to Maurice Hooker when he boxed Jose Ramirez, biggest payday Ramirez's career maybe he'll ever receive. Won the fight, unified, popped back to ESPN. It's okay, that's okay. And I understand that because of the way people are bad-mouthed and spoken about, maybe people are reluctant to come to DAZN or to sign with us. They shouldn't be now when they look at the schedule and the roster. But if they are, it's okay. You can come, take the big money, take the big fight, and then you can go back if you want to, or you can stay. And
is that something of a new approach to this? Because for so many years, it's been either sign with me and fight on my platform, or you can't fight anyone else.
That's bad for boxing, and that's when we start talking about the politics of boxing, which will always exist. Look, our job is to sign the best talent in the game and to put them on DAZN. Bob Arum's job is to do exactly the same for ESPN. Al Heyman's job is to do exactly the same for Fox. It's no secret. So when you get your key athletes or your key fighters, you don't really want them to go on another platform. Like, I don't, if I'm working with DAZN and we've got Gennady Golovkin, do I want him to take a fight on ESPN or Fox? No, not really. I want to keep him for our subscribers. But there comes time with certain individuals at certain times where you have to be willing to, if the opportunity is right, and again, going back to Jose Ramirez was a great example, and you have to credit Top Rank with that. I mean, they got to a position where they could have said no, but they said, this is a lot of money. We think he can win the fight. We're going to do it. That's good for boxing. It's a bit like now the position with Terence Crawford. They're in a really tough spot with Terence Crawford. In fact, before Kell Brook got injured, I was in a kind of similar spot myself when Kell Brook beat Sean Porter, when the PBC had all the 147 guys, other than Jesse Vargas, actually, who's with Top Rank. So, and you kind of feel like, and no one wants to help you. It's not like PBC are phoning up saying, it's okay, we'll give you a guy, he can come and fight against him. It's like, no, we've got everyone. Fuck you. That's how the game works, right? And Crawford's in the same spot now, where Heyman knows that Crawford, the only way he can get the big fights is to fight on Fox or to join PBC, right? Now, as I said, we have a big welterweight fight on February 29th, where we have the winner of that fight that will definitely be saying, okay, I can say to Terence Crawford, I could say to Errol Spence, I could say to Danny Garcia, better example probably, Manny Pacquiao, come to DAZN. We'll make the Mikey Garcia fight. We'll make Jesse Vargas. So, and that's like the position we're in now with the middleweight division with Charlo, where I've said to him, come and fight Demetrius.
What's the fight of the ones that you just named for Mikey, assuming that he gets past Vargas with his first 47 fight, that is most desirable? Is it Pacquiao?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a big fight, and I know that that's a fight that particularly Saudi Arabia would like, and, other people as well.
Are we back in Saudi Arabia in 2020?
Yeah, 100%. Twice at least.
So, you have an idea who's at the head of those cards already?
We have a meeting next week. They don't really want to let Joshua go. They think every fight of his should be in Saudi Arabia. They love Manny Pacquiao because obviously there's a big Filipino community there as well, and he's a big global star as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see us working maybe with Golden Boy to take Canelo out there at some point. I mean, these are the levels of the fights they want, but they don't want Canelo against Sid Snot. They want Canelo against Triple G. They don't want Manny against someone. They want Manny against Mikey Garcia. They don't want necessarily Joshua Pulev, but they do want Joshua Wilder, and that kind of thing. So,
right, but we want maybe Joshua Fury, which may set up the dynamic.
We want whoever's got the belt. So whoever wins that fight on February 22nd, that's our target. I said in an interview yesterday, one thing is guaranteed: Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will fight. I think most people know enough about both guys to say there's a fight actually you can sit down and make very easily. The Wilder fight, not so.
But is it easy considering you'll be dealing with Top Rank in that Bob Arum, ESPN?
It's Top Rank. It's MTK.
Frank,
and it's not Frank. Frank don't have any say in Fury, but MTK have a strong say in Fury. But Fury has a strong say in Fury. So ultimately, Fury's going to want to do what the fuck he wants. And he's going to tell these people, I want that fight. When a fight becomes so big, do you really think that Bob Arum and Al Heyman really want to work together on Fury Wilder? Not really. But they've got to a stage where it's a big fight and we've got to make it happen. So we'll bite our tongues and we'll do it. Fury Wilder the same. Now our relationship with Top Rank is probably better than PBC's relationship with Top Rank. But again, it gets to a stage where the fighters, that they'll give us no choice. Joshua will just say to me, go and make it. And Fury will say the same. And probably it'll end up Tyson and AJ in a room sorting out the deal, probably. And they'll probably just come back to us and say, this is what's happening, get on with it. you know. But we'll see what happens in February.
So when you say for sure, win or lose for Fury,
100%. In his
that's
career.
Joshua's next opponent.
No, in his career. Right? There is no way that Fury-Joshua will never happen. Win, lose or draw for Fury on February 22nd, it's just, I just know both guys. Like, AJ really wants that fight. I know Tyson really wants that fight. For Britain, like, you know, you've been there. How big is that fight in Britain? I mean, that's like, you know, a monumental fight. So I'm very confident that fight will happen. But the priority for AJ is to fight the winner of that fight. They don't want to fight the loser of that fight, although I do believe at some point, and again, perhaps with Wilder he'll fight and win, lose or draw.
How much has your position and Joshua's moved with the advent of this loss to Ruiz? You've recaptured those titles, but ironically before you were saying, well, it's heavyweight boxing, a unification, undisputed fight doesn't come along every day. Anything can happen, guys can lose. It was Joshua who ended up losing, so it's become real. Like, yeah, anybody can lose. Whoever wins with Wilder and Fury, how much are you willing to move on your position financially to make the fight happen if it's possible?
Changed. I mean, look, let's be honest. A year ago, Fury and Wilder were making a 15th of what Joshua was making. And Joshua was undefeated. He held 4 belts. He was the clear king of the division. And these guys were both offered 60-40, which I felt at the time was just the most generous deal that could possibly offered for them, and they both wanted 50-50, and it was like, sorry, no. Fast forward 12 months, you've got Joshua losing, but Joshua recapturing the belt, so in my opinion going to a new level. But you've got Fury and Wilder that have fought each other, whose profiles have both considerably raised in the US. I'm not, you know, I can say badmouth people, but it comes with facts. So when things change, I'm big enough to say things have changed, and they have changed. And you know, you've got Fury doing the WWE. You've got Fury beating Wilder the first time out. You've got Wilder knocking out Ortiz and Brazil looking sensational. So in my opinion, I don't necessarily think they're still worth 50-50, but I can see now the argument. And it's going to get to a stage where they will probably only take the fight at 50-50. That's an AJ decision. That's not an Eddie Hearn decision. I don't go in and say, just to let you know, it's 50-50 done, it's on. It's AJ, this is the only way you're going to make this fight, is if we give them 50-50. What do you want to do? And I don't want to put words in his mouth because he's his own boss, but in my opinion, he wants those fights so badly that that will probably be the deal. And I have to say that, especially the winner of that fight, Wilder Fury, does deserve the 50-50. But they never did at the time. It weren't even close back then. But things change, and we need each other. You know, let's be honest. I think if Wilder wins that fight, Wilder against AJ is the biggest fight ever in the sport, like ever. It's the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship between two guys, a little bit vulnerable, punch like fuck, both of them, both fast as you come, you know, both huge personalities in different ways, and you know, look great and great talkers, and like that's a fight that transcends the sport. So we need each other, and whoever wins. But we just felt like, and that's with AJ's comments during the week, I just know, look, Fury can phone me, like I can phone Fury, right? He can phone me. We fuck around with each other. Like he slags me off, I slag him off. I have a huge amount of respect for him. He's a great fighter. I can phone him. We don't have that same link up with Wilder. Wilder would never talk to me. In fact, I can't even get a talk or a chat with his people, let alone with Deontay Wilder. And that's why I feel like, and AJ feels like, a fight with Fury happens, maybe not like that, but certainly a lot quicker. But we'll see what happens.
Well, one thing that doesn't change is we manage to make news almost every time we talk. Yeah. So I appreciate the time. It's a brilliant conversation. Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn.